Hello Remington fans, and thank you for joining us tonight. We're very excited here at Big Green. I'm Josh Barca, this is here Daniel Cox. We're going to be talking about the brand new 870 detachable magazine. It's going to be a great show today. It is live, so we're doing this. It's live. It's go time. And we have a team of moderators in the back that's going to be answering questions. I got my computer up here. I'll be taking some questions during the show. And we're going to get started. One highlight, we are going to give away an 870 DM at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around because it might be you. Daniel, why don't you kick us off with a brief overview of the 870 DM?
Yeah, so the 870 DM, I'm sure you've seen the highlight reel at this point. You may have seen some of the stuff that went out last night. It's essentially the same 870 you've come to know and love and trust. It's your solid steel receiver, twin action bars, everything you know and trust about the 870 now with a detachable magazine setup. We went this route because we wanted to figure out a way to innovate and do something new and different with the 870, right? We've got the most prolific pump action shotgun in the world, and after 50, 60 years of great service, we decided it was time to do something new and exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we, I'll pull out the base model here and we'll kind of touch on the high-level overview of the gun.
Yeah, so we'll start off here with a high-level overview, talk about some of the features and functionality and stuff, and then we'll take you guys through all the different models, talk about the features. We'll obviously be answering your questions live as we go through here. We want to start off with kind of the important nuts and bolts of the gun. It's the same 870 receiver that you've come to know and trust. Everything about this gun is an 870. It does have some differences, obviously, in the mag well,
that's the big
magazine,
one right there.
right? A couple obvious things, but everything you've come to understand and you've got familiar with. If you know the 870, if you love the 870, if you trust the 870, this is the gun. So we do have a couple things about the gun, though, obviously, that make it a dedicated detachable magazine. One of those is the receiver. There's a couple of obvious differences. Your rear trigger plate pin is replaced with a screw here that holds the rear of the magazine well on, and there's an additional hole in the front, but it's still the same 8-pound billet steel receiver that starts out with every other 870. We didn't change the material, didn't change the manufacturing type. We didn't do anything to deviate greatly from what makes the 870 so great. The obvious thing that we did change is the magazine well. You do have an aluminum magazine well now on the gun and a 6-round magazine protruding from the bottom on most models. We have a 3-round available for the hunting gun too that we'll talk about. As you walk through the gun, we're clear here. You've got the magazine latch on the front. The magazine latch is a large paddle right here. You just pull it back and strip the magazine out as we show there. It's very user-friendly, very easy. There's not much of a learning curve with it. If you're used to loading magazines with any other gun that you've got that's magazine fed, you don't have to rock the magazine in. You don't have to do any kind of
it just pops
weird
right
loading
in and out,
sequence.
really smooth.
It's a straight in, straight out. The magazine latch, as I mentioned on the front here, you've got the action bar lock on the rear, just like your normal 870. Most of your controls, any of the controls that you're familiar with that really matter to you, are going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, so safety in the same place.
Yep, safety's at the rear of the trigger guard, just like you're used to. The action bar lock in front of the trigger guard, actually, it's a little difficult to see, but it's oversized considerably from the standard 870.
Makes it really easy to manipulate.
Yeah, we did that because with the magazine well here, we wanted to make sure that as you're reaching around the gun, however you're manipulating it, to unlock the action bars. We didn't want you looking for the standard tab that's on there because you've obviously got a few more things to contend with here, but this way it's second nature. If you're used to the 870, you grab it, you hit the action bar lock. It's just a lot easier to find. It's knurled on the front, gives you good grip, really easy to work with. Another couple features of this gun that I think a lot of people will be happy to hear is that, like I said, it's an 870 receiver, so you've got tons of aftermarket compatibility with 870 stocks that are in the market now. You've got options from Remington, you've got options from aftermarket companies. You can put your favorite stuff on there if you want from the stock standpoint. You can also use aftermarket forends. There is a little caveat on the forend that we'll talk about. Obviously, some forends extend past the receiver a little ways when they're rearward. You've obviously got a magazine well on the front now, so even us, we offer something like our Sure Shot forend, if you know, Josh, that has kind of a sweeping tail on the back.
Little back,
So what you can use is you can use our corn cob. You can use things like the Magpul forend that are available.
Some aftermarket items.
You've got the Hogue options. There's some stuff from Choate. So you've still got a lot of compatibility with aftermarket accessories here that you do on your 870. 870 barrels. This is an 870 receiver, so it attaches with a mag cap at the front like before. Any of your 870 barrels that are detinted for the ball T-tint in the front like we do, then
that'll fit it. So if you want to
right
go
on there.
to a hunting gun, because all these guns right now are 18.5-inch barrels or shorter when we get into that one. But if you want to put a longer barrel on there, 28-inch or whatnot, it'll fit.
Yeah, sure. There's some places where you can go like snow goose hunting, for example, right? Where you can have an extended capacity. You don't have to have a 3-round capacity. So if there's an opportunity, if you bought a gun that has a 6-round mag and there's a hunting opportunity that you're interested in that requires a longer barrel but doesn't have a 3-round restriction, then you can slap it on and go.
Yep, perfect. I do want to circle back to the magazine and let people know that it's not a drop-free magazine design. It's actually meant, a little bit of force to go in and out, very light.
Yeah, I'd say very light force. You're not going to find a lot of resistance, but it's the way the magazine's designed and the way the mag paddle is designed. We want you to be in positive control of everything when you're unloading and loading the gun. So you grab the magazine like you would normally, you just depress the latch with one finger and just a very light pull. You're not going to find a lot of resistance.
Yeah, it goes in very easy, comes out easy.
Yeah. You're not going to be fighting the gun to get the mag in, get the mag out. We wanted to make everything user-friendly, right? But it's not designed to be a drop-free mag. You're correct.
Yep. Yeah, excellent. Why don't we take a little bit of a break here and answer some questions here. They're asking one question that came up from Joseph in Ohio. What's the magazine capacities action if there's larger magazine capacity? Or
Sure. So magazine capacity, we're going to go through the 6 models that we're launching with originally. We're launching with 6 guns out of the gate. All of them come with a standard 6-round magazine. The hunting version, the Predator turkey-style gun that we've got set up, it's set up kind of for hog hunting, predator hunting, turkey hunting, stuff like that. It comes with a 3 and a 6, and we'll talk about those a little bit more in depth with that gun. The platform obviously lends itself ideally to higher capacity magazines, so we're not lost on that, right? Right now we're doing 6 and 3. We're absolutely interested in doing higher capacity magazines as well because I think the platform's a great host for any kind of higher capacity magazine.
Absolutely.
And magazines, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Josh, but magazines will be available at the same time as the guns.
Yep.
So if you go out and you buy a gun, you've got extra magazines available for you. MSRP on them is $34.95, so they're in line with all the standard pistol magazines and stuff like that you're buying for your
so not too expensive if you want to add a couple extra.
No, and that's MSRP. They're going to be lower
so they'll be
than
even
MSRP.
less at retail. One of the things I think we should touch on, a lot of questions coming in, but what is the chamber length?
Chamber length is 2 3/4 and 3 inch.
Okay.
So the gun's just like a normal 870 in that regard. The magazines are designed so that you can stagger feed 2 3/4, 3 inch shell.
So I can mix and match them
You can mix and match them to your heart's content just like you can the mag tube on your existing 870.
Yeah.
So you can put a 2 3/4 inch slug behind a 3 inch duck load, behind a 2 3/4 inch
So extremely versatile.
Yeah, you can mix and match shell length and shell type to your heart's content.
Wow. That's great. Well, I think there's a clip. Maybe we could see this thing in action a little bit.
Sure.
Well, that was pretty impressive, Daniel.
Yeah, so as you can see from the video, right, the main design intent, the desire is the pump action shotgun is a venerable firearm, right? It's probably one of the most effective and versatile firearms you'll find today, especially for self-defense and home defense.
Yep, absolutely.
And the best way that we found to improve on something like the 870 that's by far, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people share it, the best pump action shotgun in the world.
Absolutely.
Is you can take out the one criticism that some people have is
slow to reload.
Yeah, if you're not practiced, if you don't spend a lot of time getting really efficient with it, under stress and difficult situations, low light, and even just on the range, right, it can be slow and cumbersome sometimes to reload. You've got to have your shells available in some way. You've got to feed them single into the magazine tube. Now it takes all of that excellent feature set that you find with a pump action shotgun and it improves upon it and gives you much faster loading and reloading.
Yeah, you could see that in that video. The reloading portion of that, where he was firing the gun and unloading and reloading, that was real time. That wasn't sped up or any fancy magic in the background. That's how fast you can do it. That was Eric, one of our employees here at Remington. Not a professional shooter. He's a great shooter, but we didn't hire a professional come in. That's your regular shooter, so you can really reload it quickly.
Yeah. So I guess we could take a minute, answer some questions, because we're gonna go through all 6 models. We're gonna pull them up on the table for you. We're gonna walk through the features of them, answer questions as we go about those. But also, if there's other questions we need to filter through, we want to make sure we get everybody any information they need.
Let's take a couple here. John is asking, is it the same quality as the 870?
Sure, absolutely right. Everything about this gun, we are absolutely conscious of the fact that we've got an incredible platform in the 870. People love it, people trust it, and we want you to have the same trust and love for the 870 DM that you do your standard 870. So no corners were cut. Everything we did about this gun, we've got dozens of people with hundreds of guns, with hundreds of thousands of rounds through this thing.
This thing has been tested. My shoulder's sore, Daniel's shoulder's sore. We did some endurance testing on this gun, and it functions flawless. It is just
genuinely
fantastic.
There's a lot of great people that put a lot of time and effort in, and we're really proud about this gun.
Yeah, and one thing I should mention too, it's a factory-built gun. I know there's some kit guns on the market, and sometimes they don't perform as well as we like to see. That's why we designed everything from the ground up here internally.
Yeah, so this is, as you mentioned, this is a Remington designed, Remington tested, and Remington manufactured detachable magazine shotgun. It's not a conversion kit, right? As I mentioned before, the whole thing overall is an 870, but there are some things that we did specifically to this platform to make it as reliable and as robust as possible so that we could put forth to you guys the best possible gun available. You've got a dedicated receiver, as I mentioned, but dedicated in the sense that there's a couple modifications made to the 870 receiver.
So you couldn't really convert an older gun?
Sure, yeah, not right now you couldn't.
Yeah. But you could take the 870 DM and then kind of put a longer barrel on it, put a different stock, so you can kind of build it into something.
Same modularity, if you will, that you've got in the 870 now.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, let's see here. We got Dale from North Carolina asking what barrel length and choke tube.
So everything right now, we've got 6 SKUs that came out right now. Everything's got an 18.5-inch barrel except for one of our guns that we'll talk about.
We'll save that one for the end. That's pretty exciting.
And we do a combination of fixed cylinder bore on some of the guns that are a little more stripped down if you want to take and kind of trick it out the way you want to do it, put your touch on it. Your gun, build it the way you want, right? Change stock and stuff. We kept it simple for you. And these have got an 18-inch fixed cylinder bore. And then a couple of our SKUs come with a rim choke barrel. So your standard rim chokes or aftermarket chokes cut for a rim choke thread, whatever you like, you can put right in it.
That'll fit. Perfect. Well, why don't we talk about this gun? We'll go through, like Daniel mentioned, there are 6 models available, and this one is our base model. So why don't we hit on some of the high-level features of this?
Yeah, so real high level, this is our base model. This is a gun that comes with our standard synthetic stock that you find on our 870 Tactical that we sell now. It's got our corncob style tactical 4-inch, a little shorter, a little faster, right? It's got some nice corncob lines on the bottom here to give you good aggressive texture, so it's easy to manipulate. It does come with a 6-round magazine, and it comes with the 18-inch bead sight cylinder bore barrel. So if you're familiar with our 870 Express Tactical that we sell a lot of, people buy them, they love them, they trust them. It's basically that gun now with the capability to feed from a detachable magazine. Yeah. MSRP on this gun is $529, and availability is we'll start shipping probably by the end of December on this one for sure.
Oh, that's great. Now, I'm kind of a fan of some of the old school stuff. So I'm going to move on to the next model here, throw this on the rack, and we'll go to our hardwood model, which kind of has that old school vibe, old school feel to it.
Yeah, we released a couple of guns, kind of re-released, I guess I'll say, a couple of guns 2 years ago that are our Express Tacticals that have the police-style hardwood stock and the old police-style corncob forend. And people loved them. They really responded to them, right? Everything that's old is new again, and people love the retro look. If it's somebody that spent time in a police cruiser that had a gun like this, it
brings them back to the good old days.
Yeah, so we've had a really great reception from you guys on our hardwood tactical guns, and we've got a couple of those in the line now. So it was an immediate ask when we started showing these to people and talking internally. It was like, hey man, you got to do this in the wood because the wood's awesome. So this is essentially the same gun. as the other gun we just spoke about, the base model. The difference is it's got a hardwood stock on it, like our 870P police gun that has a hardwood stock, and it's got our police style hardwood forend instead of the synthetic. You've got the same 18-inch cylinder bore bead sight barrel, the same 6-round magazine. It's just, if you're looking for something with a little more pizzazz than just black synthetic, because some people don't like black synthetic. They
I mean, to see a black guns out there, it's nice to see a wood
it definitely
version.
stands out on the rack. It really speaks to a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move up to kind of the little bit higher tier guns, and we'll get into our tactical model, which is you know, a little bit more enhanced, a little bit extra bells and whistles to it.
Yeah, so this is one of a few guns that we're going to talk about that's a little more feature rich for people that kind of already know what they're looking for, right? Pistol grip stocks on shotguns, you're usually in one of two camps. You love them or you hate them.
I love them.
And I do too. So if you love them, then here's the gun for you. This gun uses our 870 Police pistol grip stock and our 870 Police synthetic corncob forend again. One of the things we did on this gun, I guess I should mention, I didn't mention it before, all of our guns that have stocks come with our Supercell recoil pad. So this is by far the best pad we've ever had, and frankly probably one of the best in the market. It soaks up recoil. It makes
it really does. It makes it shoot almost like a semi-auto or a 20 gauge.
If you've never shot an 870 or any shotgun with a Supercell recoil pad on it, you should do yourself a favor and check it out.
Yeah, your shoulder will thank you.
Yeah, if you've got an old 870, we sell them. You can retrofit them. It's an awesome pad. It really soaks up recoil. But all of our guns that have stocks come with this recoil pad as well. A couple of the things that we did different on this gun too, as you can see, is from the factory, we're equipping this gun with a drilled and tapped receiver. It's got XS branded steel 1913 pick rail and an XS fully adjustable for windage and elevation ghost ring rear sight. That's paired up nicely with an XS white dot front sight. It's got a nice ramp, so when you throw the gun up, you get a great sight picture. And this is one of the guns we talked about that has our rim choke threaded barrel. So this gun comes with our extended ported tactical choke tube out of the box, but it's threaded for rim choke. So if you've got a favorite choke or you just want to change it out to something different, kind of play with your pattern and whatever you want to do, it gives you the capability to do that. This is another one of those guns that comes out of the box with the 6-round detachable magazine. And like I said, if you're a pistol grip shotgun person, it's an awesome platform. It's a lot of fun. I've actually enjoyed the pistol grip on the DM specifically because as you're pulling the gun back and tucking it in to do that reload, it gives you a great solid anchor to grab that magazine, strip it out, and get the next one in. Yeah, awesome product. Now, we know there's a lot of fans of Magpul, so that's the one that's coming up next. It's our Magpul 870 detachable mag, and it's been enhanced with several Magpul features. Yeah, so as Josh mentioned, this is the 870 DM Magpul. This is the one that if you've seen any of the stuff that's been online over the last 24 hours, this is probably the one you've been inundated with. This has by far been one of the most popular because people really do like the Magpul furniture. It's ergonomic, it's comfortable, it's affordable, it's a great upgrade for any 870. This gun, out of the box, again, 6-round magazine. You get the Magpul SGA stock. It does obviously come with Magpul's removable and replaceable adjustable cheek piece. We include the length of pull spacers in there so that you can fine-tune the length of pull on this gun. So you can get it to fit you. Yeah, it does come, again, with our Supercell recoil pad instead of kind of the standard hard rubber that ships with the stocks typically if you buy them aftermarket. Same sight set. We're using the XS steel 1913 rail again, fully adjustable ghost ring rear, and the XS white dot front. Again, this is a 18-inch rim choke barrel, so we've got our extended ported tactical choke in there to help soak up some of the recoil and keep the muzzle flat when you're shooting, but if it's not for you, you can swap it out with anything rim choke thread. And then obviously you've got the Magpul forend. It's the MOE compatible Magpul forend, so it's a killer package. This gun, as well as the pistol grip, I didn't mention it, MSRP on those is... Yeah, that was actually a question from Buddy in Tennessee. What is the MSRP? So on the synthetic base model, it is $529, and on the hardwood base model, it's $529. For the pistol grip gun we just spoke about, MSRP $799, and for this Magpul gun, MSRP is $799 as well. So if you start adding up the cost of an 870 plus all these other things, you'll find that it's a really good value. It's a great value. You're basically getting everything for what it would cost you to build this gun on your own, or typically a little better in most cases. We try to show you a value to just buy it up front like that.
Yep. All right, great. Now, I know a couple of people were asking about, this has been primarily tactical, home defense type firearms, but what about a hunter?
Sure. So we've got one hunting SKU that's set up. Obviously, in our view, the gun lends itself most functionally right now to more of a tactical, practical kind of setup, but there are several hunting situations where it's just as viable. And the gun you're seeing on your screen right now is our 870DM kind of turkey predator gun, if you will. So this gun is a really cool configuration. Starting from the rear, again, you've got our supercell recoil pad. If you start shooting some of those heavier loads, heavy buckshot,
it makes a difference.
Loads,
I mean,
you'll really start to notice it there. Another kind of function-based feature of this gun is the stock. This uses our Sure Shot stock, and this is an ambidextrous thumb hole. It lets you reach through from either side. You've got nice comb height for the sights on the gun. You got rubber overmolding on the front, so it gives you a good solid purchase. Yep. And the grip angle is designed to be fairly vertical, because in most scenarios where you're going to be hunting with a gun configured this way, you're probably going to be sitting kind of tucked in either on a blind or up against a tree, turkey hunting, predator hunting, something like that. It gives you a really comfortable configuration to sit, hold on to the gun, get comfortable, wait for whatever you're waiting for to come in. This is the gun, as we mentioned before, Josh, that it comes with a 3 and a 6 round magazine. And have we got a 6 round? Grab that 6 rounder. I'm going to set this down for a second. So I want to take a couple of minutes and talk through the magazines. This gun comes with both a 3 and a 6, because in some states, depending on what you're hunting, any number of variables, you could find yourself in a situation where you've got a limited capacity of 3 rounds. It could be required by law that you cannot exceed 3 rounds. Or other scenarios like predator hunting and stuff like that, you don't have that. So this being a hunting gun for multiple applications, it is included with both magazines. The loading of these magazines is unique and I think innovative, and I think hopefully you'll appreciate the fact that it was thought out very well on how these two magazines work. So on the 6 round magazine, it's just like any other magazine fed firearm you've got. You load the magazine to full capacity, which in this case is 6 rounds, and then you've got the ability to top off the chamber, close the slide.
So
you've
6 plus 1.
6 plus 1. Obviously, you couldn't do that with the 3 round magazine because you wouldn't be complying
over
with
the limit.
The 3-shot restriction. So the way the 3 round magazine is designed, once you put 3 rounds in the magazine, the bolt has to be open in order for that magazine to seat fully in the gun and latch up. So if you were to slide around in the chamber, close the fore end, and then put 3 rounds in this magazine, it's not going to go in. It's not going to seat
up. Now you could load that with 2.
You could load that with 2. You could download it, as long as you just can't ever exceed 3 rounds by design. We went that route because we talked about that. We talked about, hey, should we just make it a 2-round magazine? That way it's consistent with the other one. But what we thought about is, as you take that walk and you find yourself in a duck blind or something like that where you're going to need a 3-round restriction, you're going to load 3 rounds in the gun, you're going to bang, 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 3 rounds are out, and then you've only got a 2-round magazine, so you can't load up to full capacity.
Yeah, so I'd rather have 3 rounds, bang, 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 like you said, pop a new mag in, bang, bang, bang.
So that's the route we went. This smaller magazine holds 3 rounds, but it does require that the bolt of the gun be back, the action be open for the magazine to be seated in. So I think it's a novel approach. It's different, obviously. But
yeah, the whole thing is different.
It was very thought out for the folks like you that are going to be using the gun. We want to make sure that you're getting the most use and the most versatility and the most fun out of your gun.
Yeah, and they are fun. Trust me, they are a lot of fun.
So we'll finish up on this gun for a second because there's a few more really cool features that we haven't touched on yet. So obviously you've got the 3 and the 6-round magazine. We're equipping this gun as well out of the box with the XS Ghost Ring adjustable rear sight and rail and the XS front sight. But one of the things that's different about this gun is the choke tubes. So it's still a rim choke pattern. It's still an 18-inch rim choke pattern barrel, but this gun is shipping out of the box with 2 specialty chokes from True Lock Chokes. And these are very nice, really high-end chokes.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they're about 50 bucks a piece. And one's called a Bore Blaster, and it's a progressive step shot stripping wad that's designed specifically for throwing heavy payloads of really big buckshot. We've got phenomenal patterns out of these things. We were shooting patterns that were about 8, 9, 10 inches at 50 yards with double-aught and triple-aught buck. Devastating patterns if you're hunting tough animals like pigs.
Yep, great hog gun.
And there's another choke that comes with it that's a turkey predator choke, and it's a progressive step choke that's specifically designed for high payloads of small pellets, smaller buckshot pellets. So like your number 4 or your number 4.6 birdshot type pellets for turkey hunting. So there's 2 specialty chokes that come with this gun out of the box that are designed for the quarry or the type of hunting you're going to be doing. And then obviously it's a rim choke barrel, so if you decide I dig the way it looks and I'm not going to hunt with it, so I want to put a tactical choke or something in, you can any screw-in rim choke you can find or you can put right in the gun.
Yeah, that is excellent. I'm very, very excited for that gun. And then the last one we have to show you, it's probably the crowd pleaser.
That gun, MSRP, by the way, on the Predator gun is $799 also.
So yeah, so all 3 of those models, same price. So this one is the that's just a fun gun right there.
Yeah, so I feel reasonably confident that most people have probably seen the 870 TAC-14 at this point. This is a 14-inch firearm. It has a 14-inch barrel, Shockwave, bird's head, Raptor grip on the back. It's not an NFA gun, which is part of what people have really enjoyed about it so far. It's a very small, very compact, very handy, very useful firearm, but you don't have to deal with NFA regulations on this thing. So
no fingerprints, no photographs, no $200 to the government. It's awesome.
Obviously, if you've got something that's great, like the TAC-14, and you've got something that's great, like a detachable magazine setup, it makes sense to combine the two. So you end up with a TAC-14 DM as well. You've got the same features as the other TAC-14 that's not a DM. You've got the Shockwave grip, as I mentioned, the Magpul forend, which is M-LOK compatible, the 14-inch cylinder bore barrel, and obviously the big difference is you've got the magwell and the 6-round magazine.
Yep. So that actually gives you additional rounds over the base TAC-14.
Yeah, so the standard TAC-14 is a 4+1 because it uses our standard 870 tubular magazine. This one being a detachable magazine, you go up by 2 rounds right off the bat. So this gun is 26.3, 26.4 inches overall length and has the same capacity of an 18-inch 870 tactical right out of the box. MSRP on this gun's $559, so it's still a great bargain. It's a great line of products. Obviously, like I said, it lends itself really, really well to tactical applications, but home defense, hunting, there's a huge window of opportunity on this gun, and it gives us the opportunity to innovate on the 870, but also start to hopefully revolutionize the pump-action shotgun market.
Yep. We do have a couple minutes left. Let's see a couple more questions here. James from Idaho is asking, is there going to be an upgrade kit? We kind of covered that a little bit, but why don't we touch on it again?
Yeah, so the 870 DM is a dedicated firearm, James, unfortunately. So there's not going to be a retrofit kit later. Like I said, we've got a dedicated receiver, a very, very similar but dedicated trigger group for this gun, and there's a dedicated bolt even. So a lot of them are very similar and very common components with a lot of our 870 line, so it's not, super exotic, and it's not going to be hard to get parts for. It's not going to cause you any kind of heartburn like that, but the combination of the parts that we have make this a unique firearm, and retrofitting an existing gun would require pretty extensive modification, at least to the receiver.
Yeah, and the receivers are all stamped DM on them, so you know that's a dedicated detachable magazine.
Yep.
A couple more here. We got Mark from Michigan. Is the receiver drilled and tapped?
So on initially the 3 guns that come with the XS rail, they are drilled and tapped. On the 2 base models in the TAC-14, they're not drilled and tapped at this time. Obviously, this is the first 6 of what we anticipate to be a full line of products. So I'm sure you'll continue to see other guns come out, other features, combinations of features at various price points to kind of hit everybody their interest. Our goal is to service our customers and you guys and give you what you want. So there's definitely going to be an extension on this product line, but right now you've got 3 guns that are and 3 guns that are not.
A great question here from Francis in Long Island. American made 100%? Absolutely. Actually, all the Remington firearms are made in America, so that's something I'm very proud of. I know Daniel's very proud of.
And they have a lifetime warranty.
And a lifetime warranty, even better. So really, you can see that we're standing behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're proud of what we make, and we make a great product, and we're happy to stand behind it.
Yep. I got a few more minutes here. John from Huntsville, Alabama, where we're at, our hometown, right here. He's asking for the price on the magazine. So
MSRP on the magazine is $34.95. So you'll find them under MSRP, I'm sure, like most things that are listed at MSRP. My guess is probably $25 to $30 range. So they're right in line with like your Glock mags, your M&P mags, your Remington RP9 magazine, stuff like that.
Yeah, so not too expensive. You want to add a couple more to your gun here. We've got one here for Chris. He's asking, does the mag interfere with the pump action?
It actually doesn't. So whenever you've got the mag pull forend, if you can see it, is the longest of all three. Sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to get you some light, Chris. So the mag pull forend is the longest of all three. It's obviously longer from front to rear. And at its fully rearward stroke, you've still got a ton of space down here. So with the mag pull being longer like it is, it also has the hand stop at the bottom that they put stock on everything. So when the pump's all the way back, you've still got significant clearance. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bouncing the gun around. I'm trying to show you. You've probably got 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches of clearance between the back of your hand and the magazine and the mag latch, with the longest possible forend combination all the way rearward.
A couple more here. John, he's a two-part question. Will it be at SHOT Show? Yep, it will be on display. So if you are in the industry and you are attending a SHOT Show in Las Vegas, we'll have a full display there of all 6 models. And then he's asking about the magazines. Who makes them?
So we make them. The magazines were designed by us, specific to the 870. They're made by us. All our own tooling and everything. We do it 100% so that we can control our quality on them. And the magazines, I'll touch on them just a little bit here. As you look at the magazine, what you'll find is you've got a steel upper portion with steel feed lips, a high visibility follower so you can see clearly when the gun's empty, and then you've got an overmolded polymer section here. So the polymer section on the rear is not just snapped onto the magazine, if you will.
Completely
encased.
It's
completely encased. It's overmolded across there. So everything about the magazine, the body of the polymer section is a 40% glass fill.
So it's super tough.
Super strong, and it's a very robust mag. It feels solid when you touch it. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it was, the cheapest option we could get. We spent a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money developing a magazine that does the gun justice.
Yep.
Because the strongest or weakest part of any magazine-fed firearm is the magazine. And it'll make or break a gun, and we know that going up front. So we're making our own magazines out of very high-quality materials, and they're designed to last a lifetime.
Okay, Blake here from Ohio is asking, is there a slug barrel?
So, Blake, I don't know if you were on earlier when we talked about it, but the 870 DM being based off of an 870 receiver, as long as you got an 870 barrel that's drilled and detented like a lot of ours are, then it'll go right on this gun, and you can put standard 870 barrels on this gun. So if you bought one of these guns and wanted to retrofit it with an 870 barrel or 870 stock or 874 end of your choice, it gives you that capability.
And this is a good question to touch upon from Stanley in Michigan. Cleaning, does it break down easily for cleaning the gun?
Yeah, so it's pretty much just like your regular 870. You unscrew the mag cap, you pull the barrel off. One of the things you don't have to do on this gun, like your standard 870, is when you go to take the forend and the action bars out on your standard 870, you have to reach under the bottom, push the lifter out of the way, manipulate the feed latches, and take the forend off. This gun doesn't have action bars because it doesn't feed from a tubular magazine, so once the barrel and magazine are off, you basically unbolt the mag well and pull the shell stripper out of the bottom, and the bolt and everything comes right off the top. And when you're reassembling it, stuff like the shell stripper, they're marked for proper assembly on the part specifically. So everything about it, we tried to make sure that the user experience and your interaction with the gun was a simple, straightforward one to make it easy to work with.
Yep, perfect. I got a question here from G from Southern California. Who created the design?
So this was a design that came obviously from internal folks. We've had a team of engineers that have worked on this for quite a while. They've iterated it, they've played with it, they've gone through various different versions and tested, but this is a Remington design.
So built from the ground up?
In these
from
four
the
walls,
Remington team. Excellent. Did get a question, is it suitable, from Tom from North Carolina. He's on the water. Is the gun suitable for a saltwater environment?
So for 870s, there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of 870s that spend their life in harsh saltwater environments too. This is just like those guns. There's nothing about this gun that's going to make it more fickle or more sensitive to saltwater environments than any of the 870s that are out there in service today. So yes, it is. We obviously, we use our Pro Cubed whenever we treat the guns out of the factory. Once they're built, they're wiped down, they're lubricated. That's the best lubricant on the market right now.
Fantastic. So, really, if you're on the water and you're not using the Remington Pro Cubed, you need to check it out. I mean, our internal testing on this stuff is
independent lab testing.
Yep.
Not just ours.
That's right. We did it both ways. Over 300 hours of salt spray. So that's really tough stuff. So it's fantastic to lube this firearm and
that's
any
what we
other
use on all
firearms.
of our production firearms now. So it's like Josh said, as independent lab studies have shown, this is phenomenal stuff when you put it in a salt fog chamber. If you're not familiar with that, it's an incredibly harsh test. It's basically a salt fog, right? So it gets everywhere.
The worst condition possible, and it exceeds it. My producer in the back is letting us know they have picked a winner. So Sandy J, Remington is going to be reaching out to you directly. You have won an 870 detachable Magpul. Let me show you the gun here again.
Congratulations, Sandy.
Congratulations. You'll be one of the first ones to get one of these and make all your friends jealous. So fantastic product. I really think that is about going to wrap us up for today, Daniel. Really want to thank our viewers for tuning in. It's been great. We're very excited. Please, get out there and check them out at your local retailer. Check out our website. There's a lot of buzz around this gun. It's going to perform great. We love it. I can't say much else about it.
No, we're going to be shipping them in the next few weeks, and they'll be the first 2 models will start shipping in the next few weeks, and then the other 4 will be right behind it early January. So they'll be available, and get out there and check them out.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you again for tuning in.